Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing the movie My Oxford Year that premiered last Friday on Netflix. So let's get into it. When watching this, I was surprised on how flat the movie was. I noticed right away there were so many differences from the very beginning of the movie that I thought to myself, I don't know how this movie is going to be entertaining. In the book, the girl's name is Ella, and she's from Ohio, and her dad died when she was 12. And her dad loved to read, so that inspired her to apply for the Rhodes Scholarship. And she finally got it at 24, and so now she's doing her Oxford year. And she's currently in politics. The opening scene is her in an airport, like having one foot in on the plane and one foot out. And she's talking to this guy, Gavin. She's like, just tell me what I need to do. Just tell me, like, I can work from England. Like, it's going to be all right. So that's like the whole entire novel is her balancing her political career as well as her year at Oxford. And so when I saw at the beginning of the film, and I saw that her family was there and there was no sign of her political career, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like how is she going to have the depth from the book in this movie to make you believe that her and Jamie are going to have a relationship? Like it was very hard for me to like her character in the movie. Her character definitely isn't perfect, but I really liked how smart she was in the book. Jamie is very smart as well, and they have these really good conversations in the book that are totally botched in the movie. I'm like, if you were to take anything from the book, take the dialogue from the book, because it is so good in the first half when they have banter. They communicate and laugh and get on each other's nerves, like sparring and everything is really good. And you get like their different like perspectives and their different intelligences come together, and I don't know, it's just really good. And they didn't have any of that in the movie. I thought they would at least have a dynamic like Adam Brody and Kristen Bell's character in Nobody Wants This, where they talk out their problems, because they do compromise in the book. They do. They just didn't show any of that into the movie. And in the book, they felt older than what they are. Like, she's 24, and I think he's in his late 20s. I don't know, the way that they loved poetry and the way they talked about literature and the way that they quoted with each other, it was just really cool to see that type of intellectual conversation in a novel, which you don't really see that much. It kind of reminded me of like old literature. They just didn't show that in the movie, and I just thought that would be a great opportunity to show something like that. It was just kind of sad. It just felt like the movie fell flat, and the scenes that I was most excited about, like the meeting scene in the shop, the scene in the lecture, the very first lecture, my favorite scene, which is when they're in the office discussing her not doing the assignment correctly, and then they had this boat scene that was in the novel that was romantic. And they had some of the scenes were actually in the movie, but they were totally different in the movie. And I'm like, you should have just used the actual dialogue from the book. Like, there were just so many good nuggets at the beginning that could have been in the movie, and it just wasn't. I really liked the actor who played Jamie. I wonder if he comes from theater, because he's very expressive. It was just kind of funny, because I wouldn't say Jamie's super expressive, but he is just a very strong, charismatic man. He has his, his cheekiness, but he has this intelligence, and the way that he speaks and his presence in a room is very noticeable in the book. I just don't know if it was as noticeable in the movie. Actually, there were a couple scenes that were probably like that, but you could just tell in the movie, like, he had like a lot of weight on his shoulders, and Jamie isn't really like that in the book at all. He's very level-headed. He doesn't let things get to him, and he's there to serve a purpose in Ella's story. And I felt like it was the other way around in the movie. I don't know, like it just seemed different. But I really like the actor who played Jamie, and the actress who played the girl. I'm not sure if it was necessarily her or the writing. The writing wasn't the best for all of the characters. I feel they changed the girl the most from the book. it's just Ella has so much depth in the book that I feel like there was no depth in the movie for her character, and I just don't know if it was like the direction, the acting, the writing. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but because they botched a lot of her character from the book, I can see why it got so flat. Like it just it was just hard for someone who read the book and an audience member to believe their love story. Like, what is so special about Ella? Jamie is such a catch. Like, she's just very charismatic in the book. He's just really intriguing. Like, I didn't want the lectures to stop. Like, they were just so good. The movie was just a little disappointing. Like, it just fell flat. I was just surprised by the creative decisions that were being made. You had the book. You had the book to help guide you, and you didn't do it. And then let's talk about the ending. What does this ending mean of this movie? I don't understand it, because in the book, at the very end, when Jamie wakes up from the coma, I think it's him waking up from the coma, or the last treatment, him and Ella, which Ella in the book is the one who has this plan of how she wants to travel to Europe. In the movie, Jamie's the one who brings it up, which is not true in the book. So in the book, Ella has this trip that she wants to does around Europe, and Jamie gets mad when he tells her that, hey, you should do this trip, like, you don't have to wait for me or anything like that, because at that point, I think they, are past the friends with benefit stage. At the end, after he awakens and everything, she's like, he just wants to live his time out. And the thing is, in the book too, is that she's very supportive. I wouldn't say she's necessarily emotional about losing him, but she's very supportive in Jamie's decision. I love that about her, how she's very supportive in it, and she even tells the dad, which I don't know if they show this in the movie, I'm thinking not, but she goes up to the dad and he's like, he did the trial, he wants to live his life the way he wants to live it, and we're traveling the world, and I don't want to hear anything else about it. And he's just like, I think he understands. He's just like, okay, I get it. So that's basically how it is that she sets the plan of what they're going to be showing, and he's like, okay, well, if you have this as a plan, he's like, I get 5 trump cards, meaning you have this plan on where you want to go, but he's like, because he's been to Europe, he's like, these are the places that I need to take you that aren't on your list that you need to see. And she's like, how about 3? And he's like, okay, 3 wishes for a genie. So he's fine with 3. And that's kind of how that's the last dialogue of the novel. And then in the epilogue, it is her telling them about their travels. They're like, yeah, we went here, we went there, we're there. So there isn't necessarily him dying in the book. It's them leaving to go travel. And I wish their scenes in the movie were longer. Like, there's a dialogue scene in the hospital. Like, when they meet in the hospital, there are scenes between them. But, like, you barely see any scenes between them in the movie at all. So I think that was the other thing, too, is that there's a lot more dialogue between them, and the scenes are a little bit longer in the book. And instead of doing all the montage in the movie, I would have liked to see the dialogue between them, so you as an audience member can buy more into their story. I really like the girl who plays Cecilia. Cecilia was actually his brother's fiance, and she wasn't the woman in the shop in the book at the very beginning. He's with the woman who comes to talk about treatment with him. There are a couple other characters in the book that weren't in the movie. There's Guy Hugh and Eugenia. If you haven't read the book, I would say at least read the first half of the book. It's really good. It sets the ambiance for Oxford and the British the British characters that are in the novel. So I would recommend, if anybody saw the movie that maybe didn't like it, thought it was boring, I would say just at least read the first half of the book, because it's that part's really good. And hopefully with the actors in mind, you can see how good the writing could have been. That's it for my review on my Oxford year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.